Assalamu alaikum, sir. I am Mahbub Hassan. I am from CSC department. Now I am going to talk about the systemic analysis of Google BARD. My part of this presentation is overview of terms of service and identify applicable laws and regulation and privacy compliance. Now, first of all, I am going to talk about overview of terms of service. Where age requirements, you must meet the minimum age of Google service, which is 13, to use BARD. Use restriction, BARD cannot be used to develop competing AI or for malicious purpose. Content restriction, avoid providing sensitive or confidential information to BARD. Safety feature, BARD has safeguard to block harmful content, but user discretion is advised. Disclaimers, but content may be inaccurate or offensive, so use it critically. Privacy, Google takes your privacy seriously and does not sell personal information. Data collection, but interaction may be collected from improvement, but user IDs are removed. Data management, you can review, manage, and export your BARD activity data. External services, exporting BARD conversation to other service will be subjected to their terms. Google Workspace, BARD can connect to Google Workspace use with user consent. But your content remain private. Now I am going to talk about the identify applicable laws and regulation and privacy compliance. Where General Data Protection Regulation (GDPR) applies to the process of personal data in the European Union, regulates how companies collect, use, and store personal data, but might process personal data, user queries, location, and could be subjected to GDPR. California Consumer Privacy Act (CCPA) here applies to California residents, grants consumers right regarding their personal data, including access, deletion, and opt-out for sale, but might need to comply if it processes personal data of California residents. Artificial Intelligence Act (AIA) proposed UE regulation aimed at regulation AI system, classifies AI system based on risks and imposes requirement accordingly. But classification under the AI would depend on its specific functionalities and risks. Now, my group mate Nadia Noshin will talk about the second part of our presentation. Thank you, sir. Assalamu alaikum.
Assalamu alaikum. This is Nadia Naushin from Group 10. The title of our poster presentation, Systematic Analysis of Google BERT, encapsulates the essence of our endeavor to dissect and understand the intricacies of this powerful tool. Google BERT, short for Biomedical Advanced Research and Development, stands as a testament of the potential of technology to enhance our understanding of complex scientific domains. Let's talk about something really important in the digital world, intellectual property rights. It's like the rules and guidelines that help us use and share things on the internet in a fair and respectful way. We will break it down into four main parts: copyright, trademark, licensing, and following the standard practices and laws. First up is copyright. Think of it like this: when we create something like a cool picture or a helpful article on Google Bird, we want to make sure people know it's ours. It's like saying, hey, I made this and I want credit for it. But we also need to be careful about reusing things that other people made. We should always ask for permission or make sure we are allowed to use it. Next is trademark. It's like when you see a logo or a special symbol that belongs to a company, like the Google logo. We need to be respectful and not use these trademarks in a way that might cause confusion or make it seem like we are saying something is ours when it's not. Then there is licensing. It's like the permission slip we need to use Google Bird. We need to know what kind of permission we have and what we are allowed to do. It's a bit like having rules for using a game or a toy. We need to play by the rules to have fun together. Lastly, we talk about following the rules and laws. It's super important to be open and clear about everything. We want to make sure everyone knows what's going on and that we are being fair. We also need to make sure we are not breaking any laws while using Google Bird. It's like driving, we follow the rules to keep everyone safe. Now let's talk about really important for all of us who use Google Bird, our rights and responsibilities. It's like understanding the rules of the game and making sure we play fair in the digital world. First off, we have the right to know what happens to our information. It's like a big clear map that shows us where our data goes, how it's stored, and what it's used for. But should tell us everything in a simple way so we understand it easily. We also want to know if there are any special things we need to be aware of while using Google Bird. Now, about our rights. We have the right to access our data, fix it if there is a mistake, and even say, hey, I don't want you to use my data for that. It's like having control over our information, but should give us the tool to do this easily. But with great power comes great responsibility. As users, it's up to us to use Bird in a good and responsible way. We should avoid doing anything that could hurt others or misuse the information we find. We also need to understand the bird is smart and it's not perfect. Uh, it can make mistakes just like us. When we see information on bird, we should make sure it's clear and easy to understand. Think of it like a good book. It should be accessible to everyone and the information should make sense. If something seems confusing or incomplete, we should let Bird know. Thanks for listening and let's keep exploring the digital world together responsibly. Thank you.
Assalamu alaikum, sir. My name is Ali Hassan Sakib from Group 10. Now I am going to present a project. My bird is stated from prohibited activities, and now I am continuing with this scope and breadth. Prohibition should explicitly cover hate speech, incitement to violence, discrimination, harassment, and threats, spreading false or misleading information. In intentionally or not, should be addressed. Generating content that inference on others, privacy or reveals confidential information, copyright and intellectual protect illegal activities. All of them are violation of security or personal information. Alignment with standard and requirements, industry standard and legal requirement. There are so many industrial statements that are related with this, and this is not look like following the all the rules of industry standard, and all the requirement is not fulfilled as like legal. And the last one is clarity and specificity. Precise language. This is most important thing that there is precisely used English, but there are too many others country. They use their native language to talk, but they cannot use their any their own language here. Example providing concrete example of prohibit content or activities can further clarify expectation for users. My second topic is dispute resolution mechanism. Identification of mechanism. Check for a dedicated section, understand the chosen method, then the fairness and the reasonableness, accessibility, impartiality, binding decisions, and that's all about the fairness and reasonableness. Specific provisions, notice requirements, cost allocation, governing law, consideration for fairness, choice of forum, waiver of rights, confidentiality. This is the most important thing, that confidentiality is here very sensitive thing. And because if they violence it from their record, then it is very high levels crime. That because they should punished from the government. And I think it will be exposed and solve the problem as soon as possible. And thank you so much. My groupmate will continue rest of the part.
Assalamu alaikum, sir. Thank you, Alith Hassan Sakib. Now I am going to talking about the termination and suspension, clarity and transparency. And clarity stated conditions. The grounds for termination or suspension should be clearly and consistently stated in plain language. Example and illustration. Providing concrete examples of prohibited behavior and alignment with industry standards, probability, fairness, and consistency. To achieve alignment with industry standards, platforms should regularly review their updates and policies and procedures to ensure they are in line with best practice. Now, the specific conditions. Violating the terms of service and termination or suspension may occur if user violates the terms of service agreed upon when using the platform. Now, updates and notifications. Where provision for updates, clear and conspicuous notice and multiple channels. To ensure effective updates and notifications, it is important to provide clear and conspicuous notice to users. Additionally, utilizing multiple channels for notifications can help ensure that users receive the information in a timely manner, and it is also important to consider the frequency of notifications. And that's all from our part. Thank you.